I will call the August 14th, 2023 public hearing to order. We have two items on the public hearing. The first one is an ordinance to provide for an exemption of parish government 1-cent sales tax on purchase of firearms, ammunition, hunting supplies during the state of Louisiana sales tax holiday. That would be September 1st through 3rd of 2023. Anyone here to speak on that matter? All right, there being no one. The next one is ordinance 2350, an ordinance to designate and declare certain Tangipahoa Parish assets to be surplus. Anyone here to speak on that? If not, I'll close the public hearing and call the Tangipahoa Parish Council meeting to order. I ask you if you have a cell phone, would you please mute it or turn it off? And I'll lead us in the invocation, and Mr. Bruno is going to lead us in the pledge, but I don't know where he is. So, Mr. Ridgel, would you do us in the pledge? Would you lead us? Okay. And I'll lead us in the invocation. Would you please bow your heads? Lord, thank you for allowing us to gather here this evening to do the business of the citizens of Tangipahoa Parish. Continue to remind us that we are here to serve and better the quality of life in our parish. Keep in mind those of our parish family that are dealing with illnesses and give them strength. Also, keep in mind those military personnel who at this very moment may be in harm's way so we can live this great life that we call in the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Mr. Rizzo.
Veterans and active military under the proper salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All right, Jill, would you call roll, please?
Mr. Forrest.
Present.
Mr. Ingraffia.
Here.
Mr. Joseph.
Present.
Mr. Bruno. Mr. Richtel.
Here.
Mr. Mayhew.
Here.
Mr. Wells.
Here.
Mr. Vial.
Here.
Ms. Hyde. Here. Ms. Coates.
Okay, next item is the adoption of the minutes from the meeting dated July 24, 2023.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Joseph is the first and Mr. Wells was the second. Would you call roll, please?
Mr. Ingraffia.
Yes.
Mr. Joseph.
Yes.
Mr. Bruno.
Here.
Mr. Richtel.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayhew.
Yes.
Mr. Wells.
Yes.
Mr. Vial.
Yes.
Ms. Hyde. Here. Ms. Coates.
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Forrest.
Yes.
Okay, minutes are approved 10-0. Public input. Anyone wishing to address agenda items which were not on the public hearing? Being none, Parish President's report, Mr. Miller.
Good evening. We just have a couple items on the agenda. The first is to approve the approval to seek bids to asphalt the parking lot or doing parking improvements at Chapel Sports Park. I believe Mr. Vial, this is some
Grant dollars.
your grant dollars
Yes.
that you have. Yes, sir.
Yes. Somebody make that for me, please.
Second.
Mr. Joseph first and second by Mr. Forrest, I think. Would you call roll, please?
Mr. Joseph.
Yes.
Mr. Bruno.
Yes.
Mr. Richtel. Mr. Mayhew.
Yes.
Mr. Wells.
Yes.
Mr. Vial.
Yes.
Ms. Hyde.
Yes.
Ms. Coates.
Yes.
Mr. Forrest.
Yes.
Mr. Ingraffia.
Yes.
All right, passes 10-0.
The second item is to accept the recommendation of condemnation report for 11054 LA Highway 442 in Tickfaw, assessment number 1099205. It's in District 4. You have pictures in your agenda packet. The property is obviously needs to be taken care of. I will tell you, give you a little bit of information. I know we've been working on it for a little while, but the gentleman who lives on the property, it's aired property, and the gentleman who's living on the property is working pretty much as hard as he can do alone. We do want to do this condemnation, but it's actually as much to help him get the rest of his family to help him clean it up as it is for us to get it done. So, this is one that's a little bit extraordinary, but we still want to do it and make it happen.
I so moved.
First by Mr. Bruno, is there a second?
Yes.
Second by Mr. Joseph. Would you call roll, please?
Mr. Bruno.
Yes.
Mr. Richtel.
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew.
Yes.
Mr. Wells.
Yes.
Mr. Vial.
Yes.
Ms. Hyde.
Yes.
Ms. Coates.
Yes.
Mr. Forrest.
Yes.
Mr. Ingraffia.
Yes.
Mr. Joseph.
Yes.
If you don't mind, just one quick note or comments. Mr. Ingraffia, Mr. Joseph, Mr. Vial, Mr. Risdell, Mr. Mayu, Ms. Hyde. I want to congratulate y'all on all being unopposed, being able to win your election for the next term. Mr. Lionel Wells, good luck in your re-election. Obviously, anything we can do to help you. And Ms. Coates, good luck on your race to represent us at the state level as a state rep. So just want to thank y'all, and I appreciate working with you and look forward to 4 more years of working hard together. Thank you.
Congratulations.
You as well.
Congratulations to you.
Well, I guess.
Can I
and I'll
ask a
say-
question? What about Trent and I?
Well, I figured we were going to do something for y'all much later.
Oh, okay.
So.
I just thought you
Because y'all
forgot
do,
about us
y'all do,
already.
yes, well, almost. I mean, we don't think about you all that much, but whenever we do, we think about January, I think it's January 12th next year. We really think about that day.
You do, that's what
No,
I thought.
But thank you, guys. We do plan on, we've been discussing and making sure that you are well thanked for the work that you have done. And I will thank y'all for recognizing that we also, the administration, myself, went unopposed. I think it's a real tribute to our team, to the team that we have put together in parish government, and along with you guys, that we all work well together and we look out for the best of the people of Tangipahoa Parish. And it's evident that we argue the points that need to be argued. We make sure that our constituents are represented, and we do what we think is absolutely the best. I don't think there's anyone here taking any personal privilege on almost anything except to make sure our parish is the best in the state. And we thank you for that, and I appreciate the people of Tangipahoa Parish for letting us represent them 4.5 more years. Yeah, thank you. God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Next item under regular business is recognition of Keep Tangipahoa Beautiful Board. That's Mr. Joseph, and there's a list of the board members. There are Steve Nelson, Linda Wicker, Jeanette Patanella, Ramon Wheeler, Lisa W., Michelle Legans, and Arnold Vic Cuvion. Mr. Joseph, your item.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, if you all recall, a while ago, I mentioned that when I was with the school district, at a board member by the name of Jake Bailey. And when Jake was really passionate about a subject, Jake would stand up and talk to the crowd. So I'm passionate about this. I'm gonna pull a Jake Bailey tonight. I ask that this be placed on the agenda because I think that these people need to be recognized for what they do. And my rhyme and my reasons are these. A lot of boards we appoint, they go over policies and procedures and then they go home. But this board goes over policies and procedures and we go to work. This board, we go out and physically pick up trash. You know, we physically and passionately engage other municipalities to do the same. I see the mayor from Independence, he can vouch for what I'm saying. Yes, sir, we go from pillar to post in this parish picking up litter. So I think if these people are going to give up their time and work that hard, the least we can do is bring them before the council for some type of recognition. And we coordinate with Nate Diamond. Nate is our linchpin to help us to get things done as well. So I want these board members to please come forward. Let's give you your accolades. Come on, Ginger. And brief us on some of the things that we have been doing.
Sure. I was just
Ron is the president.
I'm the president of the president of the board. Thanks to the council members.
Just name and address, please, for the record.
My name is Ron Harrell, Kentwood, Louisiana.
Thank you, sir.
I just was going to go over some of the things we do. We are a 10-member board with a representative from each district. The board primarily consists of discussing scheduling litter pickup dates, education reports, and beautification projects, and sundry other items that come up occasionally. Ginger, our executive director, Taste, comes in and she briefs us on what's happening with her day-to-day activities. We also participate in the annual Love the Boat. It's a mass pickup, Love the Boot, sorry. I had it down here, but anyway, it's a pickup every April. It's one weekend, and I think just about all of our members had a pickup for that day.
We did.
I can say in Kentwood, we had 42 volunteers and we picked up 96 bags, so that's a lot of work. And that included tires and all sorts of other things, sundry items as well. So through the years, we've been assisted with grant applications for some trash receptacles in various locations, beautification grants in locations throughout the parish. For example, Energy of Louisiana gave Kentwood a beautification grant. Amy received an America in Bloom grant, which is pretty significant. That's from with Canadian National Railroad. And Keep Louisiana Beautiful recently awarded Independence a grant to install a welcome sign and plantings on Highway 40 near I-55. Things that we don't participate in, but we definitely support, is Ginger's Roxy the Raccoon educational program, which the elementary schools, that she goes out and talks about reducing waste, recycling when possible, and disposing of trash. And then it culminates with a visit to the landfill, and they each get a t-shirt. And I think the whole deal, which you can talk more about, but it's about Roxy. If Roxy eats litter or trash, etc., it is not good for her wildlife friends and herself. That's primarily it. We have a website, which is, if you haven't been to it, you should visit it. If you go there, you can make a donation, which is a good thing, request to clean up, explore educational resources, report a violation, adopt a road, and it also has a calendar of events. So the other thing is I'd like to mention Kim and our Osprey initiative, which has been very successful. And would you like to talk about that a little bit? That's a really important thing, so.
Sure. Well, I want to thank all of you because I've attended many of the meetings as well, and I know all of you are very passionate as well. And thank you for volunteering, your time to be on the board. The Osprey litter getters have been working great, and because of that effort, and we got those, the parish actually won an award from DEQ last year for 2022. So we're very proud of that. We were recognized by the entire state for doing that. We were the first parish in the entire state to use them, and now they're spreading. And actually, Osprey is now in outside of the United States. He's in Canada and actually, I think, Puerto Rico and Mexico and stuff. So he's actually spread out internationally. So I'm very proud of that and very proud that Tangipahoa Parish has been able to utilize that because been a lot of, I was actually out there just a few weeks ago and they were pulling out a lot of stuff from the trap. So thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Good job.
Well, I also want to mention that keeping our parish beautiful, clean, litter abatement is very important to economic development as well, because one of the first things people see when they come to a community is trash. And, it's a very important issue that we need to keep at bay. And the four most common litter items in Louisiana are cigarettes, fast food packaging, candy or snack packaging, and beverage containers. And the other thing really great about the litter getter is that it captures a lot of plastic that gets into the Lake Pontchartrain, Gulf of Mexico, and they're finding more and more of these microplastics. Because, as it tumbles down its way, it gets broken down and broken down and broken down. They're finding more and more of it in fish. So thank you very much for having us. Thank you for allowing me to do this. And Ginger?
Thank you much.
Everything I need to say. But I will, Mr. Joseph wanted me to just to kind of tell you what we've been doing for the summer. First, it's very hot, so we're limited of what we're doing. But me and 4 board members went out in July at 6:30 in the afternoon and picked up at the end of 445 and Highway 20. If any of y'all have been out there with all of the snipe signs and just junk. So we picked up in like an hour's time 4 bags of trash, a tire, car parts, and several snipe signs down. The wood had rotten, and so they had just fallen down, so they were left there. So we did pick that up. That was very good. So far for 2023, this is the parish as a total, has picked up 13,068 bags with 243 tires. I've been sent out twice to pick up snipe signs so far. I picked up 18 one day and 15 the next. If anybody's looking for their snipe signs, they're at the Hammond Pleasant Ridge. We only pick them up if they're on parish property and by a stop sign. So we're just asking for everybody to do their part. So I know the code enforcement's out there. I know the trash people's out there. We're out there. Y'all out there. Robbie's out there to just please help us to keep our parish clean.
Good job, Jen.
Thank you much.
Any
And
questions?
the schools will be starting in the week after the holiday.
Good.
So, and it's full. I'm full.
Yeah, that was gonna be my question. How many sessions you think you'll have?
Well, I'm gonna have 2 sessions because I do one in the fall and one in the spring, but I can only take 10 classes.
10
And
classes,
both
10
both
classes
is
each.
full.
Got it.
Yep, because
Very good.
several classes, schools have 5 classes, so I have to, go around,
So we're counting on the kids to
not litter.
teach the parents
Yeah.
not
To litter. And it's working, believe it or not, because I run into parents at Walmart and they say they don't like me because when they get ready to roll the window down and throw a piece of gum out or piece of paper, they say, Miss Jenner's gonna give you a ticket. Of course, I cannot give you a ticket, but I sure can find somebody to give you a ticket.
Mr. Chair.
Let's get everybody's name before they leave.
Okay.
Hey, I'm
Okay.
Michelle Legans. I'm from Ponchatoula, and I'm a passionate litter picker-upper, and I'm just glad to be part of the solution.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Linda Wicker. I'm from Independence, and I'm with District 3, and it's a proud and be an honor to serve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Linda, retired U.S. Air Force.
My name's Lisa W. in Hammond, Louisiana. I'm Mr. Vial's representative for the board. I'm currently the secretary, and I hope that's okay with everybody still. And I just am honored to serve, and to serve you guys too.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
My name is Jim Payne, Mayor of Town of Independence. I'm here to thank the board, the parish, for everything that y'all do for me. Thank you for the sign, Ginger, helping with the grant. These 2 guys sitting in front of me, I know when I call them, they probably cringe, because I call them a lot, but believe me, without these guys, Independence has nothing.
Thank
The parish means a lot to us, and the constituents needs to know that. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
The sign, I don't know if y'all have seen it, but it's really, really beautiful.
And I
That's a
think
good
the
job.
mayor of Independence is doing a great job as you
I
pass
do
through
too.
Independence.
That's what I'd like to say, and I'm sure Lewis will echo it. The town of Independence has not looked
Yeah.
as good since Jim has took over in the last 30 years. The town looks wonderful, everything's clean, we're getting some new businesses in, and we're hoping for some more new businesses, and that's all because of you and Lisa and the work y'all do. Now, these people don't just work 8 hours.
No.
They work 24 hours a day doing what they've got to do, and everybody appreciates what y'all do, and we want to thank you for that.
Yeah, good job, man.
Mr. Lewis, one more thing, just remember that we received those garbage can grants, and
Right.
we got them with Independence, and we also got them for Chapapila, Park in Hammond.
Right, and I think a few years ago, we got
got 'em
some
from
for
Kentwood,
Amy.
yes.
Kentwood and Amy.
So
yeah.
we're working, and Amy, yes, so we're
Right.
working our way, it's back up again, and so we're gonna start with another little town.
All right, let's keep working, and whenever we see Miss E.J. Ferguson, let her know that we appreciate her too.
I know.
Okay.
Thank you.
One thing, Thank you to all of the code enforcement people who go out there and sift through trash and pick up tires and confront these people, I'm sure, who are quite angry at different times. So thank you, thank you. That's a very vital part, because most people don't think they're in violation of anything. So education, education, education. But thank you to all of you, to you and all your crowd. So thank you.
Thank you much.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
One
sir.
other thing. Mr. Miller, if you wouldn't mind, to save us some time and parish labor, if we can maybe get out, now that we know who's qualified, if we can get a letter out to those candidates and ask them if they do have signs on the public right-of-way, would they do everything in their power to please try to pick them up?
Yes, sir.
Because if they would give us a little hand with this, it would sure save the parish crew some time and money to
You
get
bet
it
it will.
done.
Yes, sir. We will get something out to all the qualified candidates.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank y'all
David.
very much. Thanks for being here tonight, too. Thank y'all. Now we get into adoption of ordinances. Item 4, adoption of ordinance 2348, an ordinance to provide for an exemption of parish government 1-cent sales taxes on purchase of firearms, ammunition, hunting supplies during the state of Louisiana sales tax holiday, September 1 through the 3rd.
Third, so moved.
Second.
Bruno's the first. Who's the second? Ms. Ingraffia? Would you call roll, please?
Mr. Richtel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew? Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde? Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Ingraffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes 10-0. Item 5, adoption of ordinance 2350, an ordinance to designate and declare certain tangible parish assets to be surplus. You have a list in your packet, and I think that auction is Saturday? Yes, this Saturday. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
First by Mr. Ingraffia, second by Mr. Wells. Would you call roll, please?
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Ingraffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Richtel?
Yes.
Passes 10-0. Next items will be ordinances that will be introduced, and the public hearing for this one will be August the 28th, 2023. Introduction of ordinance 2351, an ordinance to amend Chapter 18, Fire Prevention and Protection, Section 18-4, Independence Fire Department Fire Prevention Bureau. Basically, Independence will be establishing their own Fire Prevention Bureau is what we're doing here. We're doing it it's required that we do an ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
All right, first by Mr. Joseph and a second by Mr. Bruno. Would you call roll, please?
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Ingraffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Richtel? Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Okay, passes 10-0. Adoption of resolutions. We have item 7, a resolution of support for legal counsel to send a letter of responsibility criteria to the planning commission members. This has to do with variances and the requirements that we should be following to grant a variance. And we have about 7 different reasons why we should. We seem to be getting a lot of variances that don't meet this criteria. So we're just sending an official letter to the planning commission, bringing this to their attention and trying to get a little bit more understanding of why some of these variances are going through.
I'll make that motion.
All right, that's first by Ms. Hyde. Is there a second?
Yes.
By Mr. Joseph was second. Call roll, please.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Ingraffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Richtel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Okay. Passes 10-0. Next one is a resolution of the Tangipahoa Parish Council President Government to move forward with the condemnation proceeding of a structure located at 11054 Highway 442, Tickfaw, Louisiana, assessment number 1099205. Mr. Miller talked about this earlier. Is there a motion? Mr.
So
Bruno
moved.
Mr. Bruno is the first. Is there a second?
Yes.
Second by Mr. Joseph. Would you call roll, please?
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Ingraffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph? Mr. Bruno? Mr. Richtel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes. Passes 10-0. Beer, wine, liquor permits. We got one on Pumpkin Center Road. This is District 6, Mr. Mayhew.
I'll make that motion.
All right, Mr. Mayo was the first, Mr. Ridgel was the second. Would you call roll, please, on that?
Ms. Coates?
No.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Graffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Ridgel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
9-1.
Vote on that was 9-1. Next item is Hammond Express. It's an ownership change. That's in my district. Would somebody make that motion, please?
So moved.
First by Ms. Hyde. Is there a second by Mr. Mayhew? Call roll, please.
Forrest? Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Graffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph? Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Ridgel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Motion passes 10-0. And the third one is Country Corner, 49017 Morris Road, is District 5. Mr. Ridgel.
So moved.
All right, there's a first by Mr. Ridgel. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Mayhew. Call roll, please.
Mr. Graffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph? Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Ridgel? Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Motion passes 10-0. Get into some board appointments, and we will ask for one amendment to the agenda for one board. The first one is Keep Tangipahoa Beautiful Board, new appointment, Richard Fox, first term, expiring May 2025. Ms. Coates?
Yes, so I met Mr. Richard Fox actually picking up litter in Laranja, and he's from Ponchatoula, so I'm very happy to appoint him, and I'll make that motion.
Ms. Coates is the first. Is there a second?
Second.
Second was Mr. Graffia. Would you call roll, please?
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Ridgel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Graffia?
Okay, then I'm asking to amend the agenda to add a mosquito abatement board appointment, Greg Fletcher, serve an unexpired term, and Ms. Coates, that is at your request. This would be
Yes.
to amend the agenda.
Yes, please.
First by Ms.
So I'll
Coates.
make the motion to amend the agenda.
Is there a second?
Yes.
By Mr. Joseph. Call roll, please.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Ridgel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Graffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Okay, now it's 10-0 to amend, and we'll entertain a motion to approve it.
Yes,
Ms.
so
Coates
I'll
is the
make
f-
that motion to
Ms.
approve.
Coates,
A second.
and it's first and second by Mr. Joseph. Call roll, please.
Mr. Ridgel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Graffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Motion passes 10-0. Legal matters is a request. I'm sorry, councilman privileges. Yes, missed that. Anyone, councilman privileges, we'll do that before we go into executive session.
I got one.
Okay.
I made grandpa again this week.
Oh, man.
Another boy, Reed Joseph Bruno, came in Monday, 7 pounds, 5 ounces, healthy boy, mama's doing fine, number 6 grandbaby.
Mr. Forrest.
Just like to remind everybody that school's back in since our last meeting, and be aware of your school zones and take extra precaution in the morning. Be careful and watch out for our kids that's on the street catching the bus or getting off the bus, and maybe add a few minutes to your daily travel to allow for stoppages. And just be careful out there. The other thing I'd like to mention is the severity of drought throughout the parish. Our lack of rain and the combination of that and these high temperatures are a bad combination for fires. And we had a fire that was fairly close to my residence in Washington Parish that got away, and I'm sure you've seen it on the news. But these things sometimes cannot be avoided, but sometimes can. So keep your eyes and ears open, and if you see anything smoking, make a call quick as possible, because these things can get away from us pretty quick. So just a couple service announcements to the people of the parish.
One other reminder about voting, you know, all the new voter information or registration cards have been sent out. A lot of the council districts has changed, the state reps district has changed, the senate district has changed, and in our case, you may be in a different council district, you may be voting in a different precinct, you may be voting at the same building, but maybe in a different precinct. So just when you get your registration card, all the information is on there. Just take a look at it. If it says you vote at North Shore Technical Community College, that's where you vote. You may have voted someplace else before, but that's the way it works. So that change is in place.
And there's one other thing, David. There's some people that are confused that they think they're voting in there for their old councilman this time, and it won't take effect till January. That's not true.
That's not the case.
You're voting in the new district of the new councilman that's running in that district. So if you have moved to another council district, you're actually voting for the person that will be your new councilman. You're not voting for the old councilman. Because a lot of people are confused. They're thinking they're voting for the old councilman, and then the rules change in January. That's not so. They change now.
Yeah, and you can go on to the Tangipahoa Parish website, and you can pull up the council districts, and the maps are there. Ms. Hyde?
My dad's 80th birthday is Friday, so I just want to wish him a happy birthday.
Oh, great.
Outstanding.
Mr. David.
Any other councilman privileges?
Mr. David?
Yes.
Also, if no one has their card or lost their card, they can use the Go Vote app.
Yes.
Which is very convenient. You can pull it up on your
Yes.
phone, and it'll give you every district that you're involved in.
It's a neat app, it really is.
It is.
Tells you everybody you need to, well, not who you need to vote for, but within district, or what rep, a state rep, or who your senator, who you need to vote for. Okay, anyone else? All right, we need a motion to go into executive session.
So move.
Ms. Hyde's the first.
A second.
Second by Mr. Joseph. Call roll, please.
Mr. Mayhew? Yes. Mr. Wells?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Ingraffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Ridgel?
Yes.
Channel 17, proudly serving the Florida parishes.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to give our legal counsel the authority he has requested in this matter.
I'll second that.
First by Mr. Bruno and a second by Ms. Hyde. Would you call roll, please?
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
No.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Ingraffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Ridgel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayhew?
Yes.
Mr. Wells?
Yes.
It was 9-1. Okay, any other business? Let's see, entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved by Mr. Wells, there a second? Hear no objections? Meeting adjourned.